my name is David McDermott, and I'll be walking through the Border Gateway Protocol BGP route hijacking. An overview of what we'll be covering today is BGP hijacking. What is it? Why should I care? And what can be done? First of all, what is BGP? BGP is part of the backbone of the internet to connect between different ISPs and different networks. Anonymous systems, or ASs, state what part of the network they own, and then there's assumed trust between these networks. BGP will take these broadcasted out network paths and pick the shortest path for how to go through. So what does that mean for this hijacking process? If we look at our diagram down below, we have a user who's connected through a network to their router. They're wanting to get to this destination network, but then there's a hijacked route that comes in. They're pointing at the same IP range that this destination wants. But what BGP will do is it wants to take the shortest path. So this has no hops to get there. This top one has one hop. What will it do? It will take that shortest path there, going instead to this nefarious network, or inadvertent, as it may be. Why would these be used? They can be used for man-in-the-middle type attacks, where they're able to hijack information because it's not actually going to the network they think it is. So it's not really a man-in-the-middle, but it's able to spoof it. And then they can also prevent the access of information. So how long has this been around? Well, some of the earliest usages of it were Pakistan wanting to prevent the access to YouTube back in 2008. In 2017, Iran has attempted to censor pornographic sites. In 2018, AWS's Route 53 was hijacked upstream of it. So they weren't directly taking down AWS, but because they had that top level information, they could not get to Route 53 for domain registration and instead could go to different sites. As recently as 2022, there were hijacks of cryptocurrency platforms in South Korea to the tune of $2 million. This can be easily done in a sandboxed environment by using tools such as pfSense, and you can go through and you can manually configure these through the command line. That's one option. A more consistent option to go through for testing would be doing it through programmatic means. So what we have here on our right is Python script that will go through, and this is going through 50 routes that it will be adding on based upon splitting those up. You can see here that we're using those same commands that were done previously, but these are built into the program so we can run through it consistently. What this program does is it's going to run through and first put those on our network through that BGP routing, and then they'll go back through and clean it up. You can see how easy this can be to put this in, and as we walk through this in our shell, we can see how that runs through. So here, instead of going through 50 of those, I've gone through 10. But you can see these configurations are being run and setting that up within the environment. And then, because we want to clean up after ourselves, we can go through and we can remove these routes. Now those are all cleaned up from our existing routes. What does that mean as those are going through? Well, as those are added, we can then see those being published. So we can see updates going out that are updating the routes, so we can then see that from within Wireshark. These messages will play into some of the future research mentioned below. So we've seen that BGP is an integral part of the internet, and with this assumed trust, it can be easily exploited. There has not been a strong movement to have BGP replaced because it's such a consistent part of the backbone of the internet. But with multiple $1 million being stolen, there's something that probably needs to be done. So what are some things we can do? Review the existing research on exploits. One of those, back from 2007, was Practical Defenses against BGP Prefix Hijacking that had 60 citations within my quick research review. There are multiple ways that these could be addressed, such as detection, reaction, or proactive. Those will need to be reviewed to find out what can be done. Because of the amount that is used in the backbone of the internet, we cannot add excessive overhead onto this process without potentially slowing everything down. For some examples of references, I have those here showing a high level what is BGP and some examples of where those hijacks have occurred, plus mentioning that key research material that was completed back in 2007. I look forward to diving more into the research opportunities to find different routes to go through. Thank you.